If you're brand new in your landscaping business, what I'm about to share with you is a very critical mindset shift which changed my whole business, and this might be applicable to any business, and it comes in the form of a story. What's up? I'm Keith Kalfas, and I talk about how to go from 0 to 100K in your landscaping business. Now, many years ago when I started my business, I was undercharging and my mindset wasn't developed as a small business owner. And I was charging what I would have had to have made in a job, and it was not working. So I kept working harder and pulling the work harder lever into the point where I was working myself into exhaustion, and it just wasn't bringing in enough money. And I thought the only answer was just to work even harder and longer hours. And I was literally not coming home till dark every day, 7 days a week. Very, very taxing on my whole personal life. But my friend William is a tree guy, and we became friends. We started our business at the same time, and one time my landscaping customer that I did lawn care and I trimmed the shrubs and put the mulch in, she wanted a quote to trim all her ornamental trees, right? So I said, I don't know how to do that. I brought William in. William taught me, and he gave her this quote. Now, normally my average bill with her was like, back then, $25 to cut the lawn, which should be like 45 now. But my average bill with her was like 120 to maybe 180 tops. So he walks around the property, and back then he was radically undercharging himself. But his bill was like $350 to trim up the ornamental trees. And the customer, after us all walking together and him doing all the talking, sold my client on $350 to trim up maybe 5 ornamental trees, which today should be, I don't know, $1,500, $1,800, depends on the trees, right? But nonetheless, listen to this. The customer who I always charged, $120, $140, she looks at my friend William and goes, okay, let's do it. You sound like you really know what you're talking about. And then the customer goes back in the house and we close the job, right? And I look at William and I'm like, oh my God, $350. I've never, just hang with me here, hang with me. I've never charged a customer this much. Especially my customer. I didn't even know they could afford to pay that. This is how backwards my mindset was. Now, William looks at me and he goes, well, these are tree prices. You're charging landscaping prices. He wasn't trying to be mean or anything like that. It's just where his mind was at the time, right? And then so as he taught me ornamental tree trimming, which became a skill that saved my business at that time because it was the highest profit thing that I started to do, even though I sucked at it, and he taught me how to do it. I came in and I started offering ornamental tree trimming to my customers and clients, but I came in at this way higher price than anything that I have ever done for them previously. But I did it with like, here's the breakthrough. When I told them the price, I just did it like it was just like a matter of fact, because that's what William said it should cost. He said, William taught me, he said, you see that tree? That's about 150. You can get 350 for that one all day. You can get 250 for that one. I was like, are you sure? He's like, yeah, these are tree prices. So I started off with a preconceived notion of that's just what trees cost. I had no idea. That's like, I didn't have any emotional entanglement or any self-limiting belief holding me down because I didn't start with the self-limiting belief. So therefore it just didn't even occur. And so because it didn't occur in me and I did not have an emotional resistance to the price juxtaposition, to my original pricing, I just thought that's what you charge. The customer said yes because they didn't feel any tension in me, I guess, and I just immediately started making more money. And then I met somebody who was like, oh, you're getting that much money, Keith, to trim these trees? These little ornamental trees. And I'm like, yeah. He's like, how are you making this much money? I was like, what do you mean? That's what you charge. Like, listen, I started off my landscaping services in lawn mowing with this preconceived notion of like, I'm terrified to charge what I need to charge, or the customer's going to say no, or they're going to fire me. It was all pontificated in my head. But I came in with this totally new belief. You get what I'm saying here? That was just that. And here's the lesson. Whatever the heck is going on in your head and in your emotions may not equivalent to the data in the marketplace. So let's just say you're giving quotes, and if you're closing 10 out of 10, your prices are way too low. If you're closing 6 or 7 out of 10. Prices are too low. If you're closing 1 out of 10, your prices are way too high or you're doing something wrong. If you're closing maybe 5 out of 10, let me know your closing rate in the comments below. But this means maybe you're doing a little bit better. My closing rate's low. I'd say we do 2 jobs per every 100 phone calls that come in, which means a lot of the calls get screened depending on service area, and then qualifying the client and make sure they're a good fit, and then going actually doing the going and doing the quote. The cussing thing on a side note, I kind of got this channel off the ground by me yelling and cussing and in a bathroom just like this, and in a 1-bedroom apartment, and people miss that side of me. Let me know in the comments below if you know what I'm talking about. But I've learned that I don't know, maybe I'll bring all that stuff back, but I've ran into too many people at too many live events that have met me in person and say, dude, like that cussing, bro. It's like I used to have this excuse. I'd be like, well, Gary Vaynerchuk does it and he's being real. I mean, I don't know where I'm at with this, so I quit doing it, so once in a while. So back to the point of what I was saying. If you hang out with other entrepreneurs, which I've had people in my comments say, Keith, I can't even relate to your videos. What do you mean you had all this anxiety starting your business? What do you mean that you were undercharging? Like, I started my business, I didn't have any of these problems. I started out and I crushed it. I made $100,000 the first year, then 220 the second year. Then we got 5 crews and I'm just crushing it. Like, what are you talking about? Like, they can't even relate, and that's amazing, and I'm super happy. But you might not be that way. So when you meet somebody like that, you should, instead of getting upset or being like envious of them, that should be an indicator to you that, first of all, it's possible for you to do that because it's working for them, but another indicator that maybe there's a percentage of this stuff that's all just going on in your head. If you grew up around people that are broke and scared and coupon clippers and live in a scarcity mindset, and they're always afraid that everything's going to fall apart, you might not be aware that you have this neuroassociation, this preconditioning, this programming from the unconscious mind that's making you see a world where there's not enough. This was me, really, really, really bad, even worse than I even realized. So what I love about having your own small business, it's the perfect playground where if you over trim someone's bushes or you cut their grass too short, like, it's not going to be like the worst thing ever. Like, it'll grow back or you can fix it. It's the perfect playground or a perfect environment for you to learn how to run a small business, how to get your act together, how to be professional. Is better than getting a college degree to me, because you're out in the real world, right? And you can take classes online or online courses and learn all the other components of the marketing, the administration, all that type of stuff, how to manage the money and all that. By the way, I have a brand new course called, I'm not going to sit here and pitch to you, but I do have a brand new course called Business Money Basics. I'll put a link in the description below if you need help managing the finances in your business. I've learned a ton of stuff, and I've condensed it down to the most highly important things that I've learned in a brand new online course below, Business Money Basics, or go to keithkalfas.com, and then you'll see it there. And then, okay, so I want to get back to the point here. What I want you to do is start looking at the data. I want you to start... Instead of pulling the work harder lever, try to disengage and see the forest for the trees. Start to look around. Get more mathematical. Math is the path. Get more precise. Look at your service area. Look at your clients. Look at your customer avatar. What type of customers, what type of services. Maybe start managing your books and finding out where are your profit margins at, and start leaning in the direction of all that stuff. And run your business more mathematically, more scientifically, and less emotionally. Of course, you're going to have to work hard. It's a labor-based business, but how are you ever going to get to the point where you can hire anybody or anybody to help you in the business if you don't have the numbers right anyways? Yes, it's true that it is a tough business. When people say that, they're not lying. There are a lot of people that can just, it's a low barrier to entry business, and a lot of people can just get in, so you're going to have to move upstream. It's a constant uphill battle, and that's what I want to talk about in another video here, about how the trials and the tribulations of getting the business off the ground. It's like every time you think you've gotten a little bit together, one challenge after another is hitting you for years, it seems like. And you got to look at all that stuff in a positive way and looking at, oh, that's just growing pains. It's not just you. But anyways, I want you to have an abundance mindset, especially in 2022. I want you to go out and crush it. Realize that your prices are probably too low, and if you're afraid you're going to lose clients if you raise your prices, you're going to have to find a way to hyper communicate with your customers, and you're going to lose clients if you raise your prices. So you're going to have to learn how to do more marketing and advertising, and constantly be marketing and advertising, and have an influx of new customers, and just be aware that you're going to be losing customers all the time too. One way you can make more money is you can add package pricing. So two ways: you could do more of the same thing. Like if you cut grass, you can cut more lawns in a tighter location, route density, right? Or you can start adding more services to your existing clients. You can say, hey, we'll trim all your ornamental trees, which I mean small trees, not big trees. We can do mulch, we can do shrub trimming, maybe you get into hardscaping, but just be aware that the more services that you offer, the more you can get more work a lot faster and make more revenue, but it's the more you complexify the business. So now it's harder for you to learn all this stuff. You got to get more different types of tools, more skills. If you hire employees, you're going to train them all these different things. It can be very frustrating and confusing, and you'll be running around with a chicken with your head cut off because you just it's fractal, it's quantum. So another thing might be stay in your lane. Stay in your lane and become really, really good at one or two things. Anyways, I'm talking your head off here. I really appreciate you, and I'm just fired up, man. I'm fired up. Let me know in the comments below what you think, and I hope you crush it. And by the way, hit the subscribe button. If you give this video a thumbs up, it helps the algorithm and helps the channel. And I'll put a playlist down below of all my landscape startup videos that might help you as well. I really appreciate you, and